Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Rush Hour is just getting started on Beaver County Radio. It's time for Driving in the Fast Lane with Frank Sparks. It's the show that talks about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There will be guests, and Noah Haswell will have the news of the top and bottom of each hour. You're in the Fast Lane. And now, here is the host of the show, Frank Sparks.
Welcome back to hour number 2 today here on Driving in the Fast Lane. And in this hour, we're going to have Bus Talk with DJ Frye. And don't forget, coming up 12 o'clock is going to be Fox Across America with Jimmy Fela. And tonight, it's our final regular season broadcast of the year as the Elwood City Wolverines will travel to take on the Beaver Falls Tigers tonight. And that game will get us to whoever will be the second seed in the MAC. So it's going to be a very good contest for playoff seeding here in Beaver County. And with that being said, we're talking about Elwood City. I guess we're going to talk more about Elwood City. Your guest today, I got a little early bio from somebody that you know rather well, Steve. And that man was none other than Larry Kelly.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Larry was in early this morning. He does a show each and every month called, from LGKG, and he does a show about limited liability law and stuff. So, yeah.
Newcastle guys.
Yeah.
Elwood guy, and I'm not sure if Larry's still up at Newcastle with Coach Plundo at this point.
He told me this morning, I got a kick out of this as being a basketball coach in the past myself. He's now a game day coach.
Oh.
I'm like, seriously?
Those are the best ones.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you don't got to do 6 days or 7 days a week of practice, you know?
That's right. Just do the game. Yeah. That's the best part.
All right, so I'm going to throw it to you, DJ, and you can do the former introductions and talk a little bit. We're going to talk about it's Rain 3D?
Rain 3D,
all
that's
right. All right.
Well, first of all, happy end of October.
Yeah, I know.
We're already here.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe it's the final week of high school football.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. And you know what? It's been a wonderful year. A lot of talent. We were just on the phone with one of the Riverside assistant coaches, Coach Gatos, and I know they got a tough one tonight. Western Beaver's got a tough one. Beaver Bobcats going up against Avonworth. Avonworth, that's a generational team, in my opinion, this year. That's a tough team. And obviously the Central Valley Warriors, they're ready to – Mark Lyons has those guys ready to go as well.
Absolutely.
But, I want to thank our loyal – monthly listeners and viewers, and as we say every week or every month, our guests just get better and better and better.
Absolutely.
And the gentleman to my left right now is Coach Steve Antuono. Coach Antuono, over the past year, I've developed a really close bond and relationship with him, and he certainly means a lot to me and my family, and with his involvement with Rain 3D. But as we talk each month, we talk education. And one thing that I admire about this man here is he's a past teacher, taught in a classroom for 28 years, and now he teaches. He takes those talents with him every single day and applies them on the basketball court. And it's fascinating to me, and that's why I wanted Coach Antuono to come on today, talk about that. He comes from a family with a lot of education in the family, from his brothers to sister-in-laws, his wife, his daughter. But to me, once you're an educator, you're always an educator. And one of the things to me that from day one meeting him, he has impressed me on how he is a teacher first, coach second when it comes to these young athletes that he inspires every single day. So without further ado, Coach, welcome to the Frye Transportation Studio.
First of all, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous, but we got this. So to give a little background, first of all, I feel the same way about DJ and his daughter and the relationship that we have built, and really being an educator, that's kind of what this is about. So I'll just give you a little background about myself. So I taught at Union Area School District up in Newcastle for 28 years. And my side job was working part-time at Rain 3D, which is a training facility down here in Chippewa, which we'll talk about at some point during this hour. So with that being said, the side job turned into, we're growing, and it turned into my full-time job. So unexpectedly, I retired after 28 years, which was not the original plan, but my two wonderful bosses at Rain 3D, Jody Fassetti and Jamie Reynolds, gave me an opportunity to do what I love and continue to work with kids and teach kids and do something that I'm very passionate about. And after 28 years in the classroom, the basketball court now is just another extension of the classroom. And we talk about that all the time with the kids because basketball is a skill game. You have to teach the skill, teach it, and they apply it, and we just keep staying consistent, stacking days, and getting better. So, and like DJ said, I have a family of educators, from my wife to my daughter to my two sister-in-laws to my brother Frank. And I really got to thank my brother Frank, who may not know I'm on here right now. However, my brother Frank is older than me, and my brother Frank was the first one to go to school. I have two brothers, and my brother Dave is a principal right now currently at George Washington Intermediate School in Newcastle, and he was an English teacher at Newcastle before being a principal. I always wanted it, being younger than my brother Frank, I wanted that lifestyle. Like he was a teacher and a coach. And of course you had your summers off and you can coach. So I always wanted to coach. So I played basketball at Newcastle, and I wanted to, you can only play so long. So to be honest with you, I think I'm a better coach than I was a player, at least looking back on it now. Yeah. But that's kind of where I'm at with that, So, I mean, I could go on and be long-winded with this, DJ. If that's
no.
So, like, here's my favorite part about, so anyone that follows Rain or follows my Instagram page, right? That's kind of like what social media has come to today. Everyone's following social media, right? So, obviously, here are the biggest difference to me. Like, I always look at the Instagram page as being unique for this reason with regards to Rain. In the classroom, like, no matter if you have 20 years teaching experience and you say you're not nervous or anxious, when you get observed, whether it's once a year or twice a year, you still get that feeling that, okay, someone's coming in to watch me. So you might put on a better lesson or a better performance because you're being watched. So what I try to do at Rain is perform every day. There's paying customers. People have choices to make where you want your kid to be trained. So I don't take that lightly. So with that being said, you have to perform because you're not just in there with the kid. You're in there with parents. And these parents are smart, and they're paying customers, and they're investing their time and their money. And you better be on your game. So I post things, and it's not a show. As DJ can tell you, what we do is what you see. And, you can't win everybody over. But to me, I take a lot of pride in it, and there's no show. Like what we do at Rain, and it's the whole team. It's not just me. And it's from the top up. Like I said, my bosses are amazing. They've given me a platform to do what I love, and we have a great team of people, and we're constantly looking to get better, to make a better team, to correct our mistakes, to be the best version of us that we could be for the people. And I think the people that sit in there and see that, like I made that analogy about getting observed in the classroom. Mm-hmm. Well, I get observed 5 days a week. Like it's on and popping, and you can't fake it.
Absolutely. Coach, one thing that was interesting, and very well stated, by the way, but many years of that 28 of teaching in the classroom, you spent time as an art teacher. And, I was just thinking about this as you were stating, hey, I post everything, the world can see it, it's thousands and thousands of views, right, and the pressure behind that. But there is also a form of art to this. Teaching a young daughter like my daughter how to dribble in sequence, how to count numbers, right? And you talk about pace and things like that. Talk about some of the similarities as far as like in the classroom and on the court, but more specific, the relationship with art, with the art in the classroom and the art on the courts.
Well, so I hope you don't mind. I always tell the kids, including your daughter, that Basketball to me is like math class, because math class you need to drill and practice. So you find out their bad habits, you find out where you made the mistake in the problem, and then you keep drilling and practicing, and that's the class where you get homework and you drill and practice, and that's how it works. So it's the same thing with basketball. Like, you can't come in the gym and just practice once a week. Sure. It's got to be with us at Rain, or it's got to be on your own. You have to put time in and stay consistent with it to sharpen your skills. So, to me, that's the correlation with regards to teaching and just continuing to teach it, apply it, drill it, practice it over and over and over again the correct way.
Right, yeah. If you're just tuning in, this is DJ Frye in this month's Beaver County Bus Talk. Our guest in studio is the one and only Coach Steve Antuono. Two topics I want to get to throughout this show on the backside of this break is one, COVID, coaching, being a head coach during COVID, how difficult that was. But I also want to jump back into our listeners on the back end of this break, our first break, to talk a little bit more about Rain, training facility out in Chippewa. Again, this is DJ Frye, and thank you for tuning in with Beaver County Bus Talk.
Got kids? Too much to do? No time to cook? Download the McDonald's app today and get dinner delivered straight to your door from DoorDash. McDonald's makes it easy for you and your family. Download the app today and get exclusive deals and rewards. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for a reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org.
Pumpkins, pumpkins, and pumpkins. Oh my! Stop by Hozak Farms in Clinton. Enjoy the beautiful fall festivities like a tractor draw and hayride out to the pumpkin patch on weekdays in October. Pick out your pumpkin for Halloween. Hozak's Farm is open weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 p.m. Visit the gift barn and pick a gift for someone special. Remember, Hozak's Fall Festival is every weekend in October. What a great way to spend time with the kiddos. That's Hozak Farms, where pumpkins are calling your name.
Beaver County Radio's 78th year of broadcasting high school football continues this Friday night at 6:30 p.m. This week, we are headed to a key matchup in the MAC that will help decide playoff seeding, as the Beaver Falls Tigers will be hosting Elwood City. Join Robert Mangino and Mike Azadian as they call all the action from Reeves Stadium on the campus of Geneva College in Beaver Falls. Derek Rossiter will have the Latham team at eXp Realty sideline reports throughout the game, and we'll have the Boom Pow report from another key matchup. The audio and video coverage gets underway with a 6:30 p.m. pregame and kickoff set for just after 7. You can watch the game on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. You can listen to the games on 99.3 and 95.7 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. High school football coverage on Beaver County Radio is brought to you in part by Electric Garage Door Sales, your local McDonald's, I'm loving it, the Community College of Beaver County, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Vape and Roll With It, Friendly Federal Credit Union, and Beaver County Radio.
Geneva College is glad to call Beaver County home. As your neighbor for 144 years, we know how important it is to have education that fits your busy life. Geneva offers graduate programs both online and on campus, giving you the flexibility to learn on your schedule. Designed for working adults, our Christ-centered programs help you grow in your career while staying connected to the community that you love. Take the next step today. Visit geneva.edu/graduate to explore your options and apply now.
What's everyone in Beaver County talking about? It's Beaver County Radio, brought to you exclusively by Frye Transportation. Beaver County Radio and Frye Transportation, a winning team in Beaver County.
Enjoy a spooktacular night of fun Thursday, October 23rd at Jackson's Restaurant in Monaca. A Halloween-themed celebration filled with live music, ghoulish costumes, and festive spirits awaits. The best costume wins a Jackson's gift card. Make your reservations on OpenTable or by contacting Jackson's directly at jacksonsbeavervalley.com. Located adjacent to Hilton Garden Inn by the Beaver Valley Mall, Jackson's is the place this Halloween season to eat, drink, and be scary.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another insightful edition of Living Well, a special segment on Beaver County Radio designed to help you enjoy the best, most fulfilling, and healthiest life possible. Hosted by Dr. Joseph Maroon and Jeff Boast, and presented by St. Barnabas. Living Well, Saturday mornings at 8:30, right here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP Beaver Falls, WMBA Ambridge, along with 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM.
Sid and the kids are back, and you can hear all the Pittsburgh Penguins action right here on Beaver County Radio.
Retrieved by Tomasino, walking in, score! Sidney Crosby makes it a 2-goal lead.
Tune in all season long as new coach Dan Muse leads the Penguins on their quest for another Stanley Cup. Pens Hockey on Beaver County Radio is brought to you by St. Barnabas Health System, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Beaver Super, and Beaver County Radio.
Weekday mornings were meant to drive in the fast lane. It's Frank Sparks on Beaver County Radio.
And we're back here on Driving in the Fast Lane, and it is Bus Talk with DJ Frye. It is the October edition, and I'm going to just throw it back to you because you guys are rolling along here.
So, Coach, before our break, we were talking a little bit about Rain 3D, and I know we want to jump in and talk about the Elwood 2021 team with little Stevie on there, and I know you have a great story to tell about the 03 Union team that you're a part of. But if we could just jump right back in that Rain 3D Training Academy for a lot of our listeners, I know I get asked at least once or twice a day about Rain 3D. So let's jump back in there because some of our listeners right now might be asking that question.
Sure. So Rain 3D to me is a one-stop shop where you can do a little bit of everything basketball related. So there's different packages, different pricing, and all of that stuff that we could get into. But the gist of this is it's a training facility where if you are a basketball player, we are open 7 days a week. It's app related. So you can literally go on, find a skills class, hit book, and you book your skills class. And we are huge into stacking, which means if you take a skills class with me or somebody else, another coach, then you could stack that right after with possibly a Vertimax class, with a shot lab, with a recovery lab, with a recovery class, and with a lifting class. And everything is done with an instructor, obviously except the shooting machine, but everything else is done with an instructor. So everything is coached and taught. So kids are always, guys, I don't really know how else to say this other than this because I'm an emotional person. The best thing about Rain 3D is a great business starts at the top. And again, and I'm not just saying this, I have two people that had a vision, Jody Fassetti and Jamie Reynolds. They are obviously my bosses and the owners. Their vision is steady, and we're constantly in contact and trying to make it better. Like, we're only as good as those two because their vision, like, it's always how can we be better? What can we do better? They care. They care. They're prideful, and this is well thought out. And we just continue to grow, and that is the best part of this. And like one more thing I wanted to allude to earlier, and we went to a commercial break, is the with the classroom stuff. Just real quick, I want to add that the neat part about this is like I have connections when I taught in the classroom, pretty much just with the kids. But like why I'm here today, like these parents that sit in there, you know, it's a whole new connection with. Like, I'm working for the parents and the kid. Like, we're all in this together. They see their kids' growth. You make connections with families. And to me, that makes it more impactful for me because I don't want to let the kid down, but I don't want to let the family down. Like, they're choosing us to invest in, and that's really important because, you know, we want to win. We want their business. But more than that, like, a connection there, and there's a family there.
Right.
We try to get out of there, and sometimes families don't want to leave. It's a great it's a great place.
And I'll be honest, I'm one of those. We enjoy our time spent. I believe we have a caller.
Yes, we do.
Frank?
Yep.
All right.
All right. Let's jump out to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on Beaver County Radio.
How you doing, Ralph Blunda from Newcastle High School? How are you guys?
Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. I was asked to call in, and my pleasure to do so.
So for our listeners, just to tee this up, Coach Blundo, to me, first ballot Hall of Famer coach here in Pennsylvania. I know all the local coaches in Beaver County talk about how much they learned from you personally, Coach. So thank you for calling in. I know this guy to my left means a lot to you personally.
Oh yeah, he's a brother. I mean, we're day ones. Steve and I mean, we met when we were 5 years old, and just went through life together. Sort of had the same passion, wanted the same things. Newcastle basketball meant everything to us. Learned a lot from his brother Frank, who was an incredibly hard worker and committed football player, eventual coach and teacher, and we really followed the same path, Steve and I. We were just a couple kids from Newcastle who, we were street kids. We were, on our bikes, riding around town, and as we got older, standing on street corners, just, dreaming big dreams and hoping for certain things for ourselves and our families. And, and it just, it was great watching it all play out for both of us, but Steve in particular, give him a ton of credit. Steve is Steve, to be where he was as an educator and a great one at that. I mean, Steve was good at everything he did, but to make a decision to, give that up, leave the retirement system and, take a job because he was passionate about it, in spite of what it might have meant. That's Steve. He's going to do things that he's passionate about. He can't do it any other way. And I've gotten a chance to see him myself. I mean, I send my own son down there, and I can do that myself. But I love watching Steve work with him. And it's such an intimate setting where you have an opportunity to impact and connect with kids. And, Steve does that as well as anybody. Always has. You put Steve in the proximity of people for him to influence, especially when he's doing something that he's passionate and cares about. And he's going to be great at it. He was a great team leader for us. I may have been considered the player, but Steve was the captain of that team. He let us out onto the floor. That's always been him. And so it's awesome. I hear people up in this community, people from the Shannock, they talk about, what an outstanding job he does. And I just kind of slough it off because I'm like, it's Steve. I'm not surprised by any of that. I know he's gonna kill it, whatever he's doing.
Well, Coach, hey, we appreciate all that you do up there in Newcastle. Again, thank you for sharing all your knowledge with all the local coaches down here. And, I know Coach Steve always talks so highly of you. Coach, you want to, before we go to our hard break, anything for Coach Blundo?
Yeah, Ralph, first of all, good morning, my man. Thanks for calling. And Ralph said it best. We were day ones. We grew up in the greatest era. Like today, what Ralph said, on bikes and being out, we were together from sun up to sundown, living life as kids and young teenagers and playing for Newcastle like we talked about before. And Ralph said it best, we cared. We cared about each other, and it was the same friend group from Mrs. George's class in second grade all the way until we grew up into adulthood. And I appreciate Ralph, and I appreciate his family because his family took care of me growing up. And I appreciate Ralph and his... It's an amazing network of people, and I'm proud of Ralph for what he did. And Ralph was our guy, and Ralph was all heart, and it's just all we thought about and all we cared about. And Ralph, I appreciate you and your friendship through the years and everything that we mean to each other.
Yep. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Hey, Coach, thanks for calling in. And for those tuning in, this is DJ Frye with this month's Beaver County Bus Stock. In studio, we got the one and only Steve Antuono. Stay with us. On the backside of this break, I want to ask Steve about the 2021 Elwood City and the 03 Union Scotties.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this Friday, October 24th of 2025. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. 21-year-old Khalil Mutadubber of Pittsburgh was killed in a crash that happened early this morning, which caused the eastbound lanes of the Pennsylvania Turnpike between the Newcastle interchange and the Cranberry interchange to be temporarily closed. According to Pennsylvania State Police, the crash happened near milepost 14, not far from the Beaver Valley interchange in North Swickley Township, and it occurred in the 2 a.m. hour. Mutadubber was a pedestrian who was walking west in the eastbound lanes of travel on I-76 East, and a vehicle hit him and kept going to escape the scene. The investigation into this fatal crash is ongoing, and the eastbound lanes of the Pennsylvania Turnpike are now open. Anyone with leads or information related to this incident should call either 724-443-5907 or 1-800-932-0586. Jim and Evelyn Piazza, a couple from New Jersey, will speak at a special event on Wednesday, November 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Penn State Beaver Auditorium in Monaca. This free event that is open to the public is to raise awareness about the negative effects of alcohol because the son of the Piazzas, 20-year-old Timothy Piazza, died on February 3rd, 2017 at Penn State University after a night of hazing which involved alcohol. The couple has also educated teens at colleges across the country about important life skills, and the Timothy J. Piazza anti-hazing law has been yielded from their work. Pennsylvania State Police at the Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh reported via release yesterday that a theft occurred there on the evening of October 12, 2025. A black Samsung Ultra S24 worth $750 was stolen from 64-year-old Dwight McCrae of North Braddock, Pennsylvania at 8:55 p.m. at the casino on 777 Casino Drive. There will be an official dedication ceremony for the mural of the late baseball player Richard Dick Allen tomorrow in Wampum at 4 p.m. Allen, who played 9 seasons for the Philadelphia Phillies, was posthumously inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame of Cooperstown, New York on July 27, 2025, and the mural located on 331 Main Street depicts him. The artist of the mural, Ernell Martinez, and both the son and brother of Allen will be among the guests at this ceremony set in Allen's hometown. The late Pittsburgh Steelers defensive lineman L.C. Greenwood is still in consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026 in the seniors category after a recent second round of voting from people from the museum located in Canton, Ohio. Greenwood and 33 others were considered as candidates for this honor. Greenwood was a 4-time Super Bowl champion who played all 13 of his NFL seasons with the Steelers. And the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers and a player for the Miami Heat have been arrested along with more than 30 other people in a takedown of 2 sprawling gambling operations that authorities said leaked inside information about NBA athletes and rigged poker games backed by mafia families. Portland coach Chauncey Billups was charged yesterday with participating in a conspiracy to fix high-stakes card games tied to La Cosa Nostra, organized crime families that cheated unsuspecting gamblers out of at least $7 million. Heat guard Terry Rozier was accused in a separate scheme of exploiting private information about players to win bets on NBA games. Damon Jones, a former NBA basketball player for the Cleveland Cavaliers and a former NBA assistant coach, was also charged for participating in these 2 schemes.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Mostly cloudy today with a chance of showers. We'll see highs near 51 and overnight lows around 30. Tomorrow we'll start the day with some areas of widespread frost, followed by mostly sunny skies. Look for highs in the mid-50s and lows of 34. And lots of sunshine expected on Sunday. We'll see highs near 57 and lows around 36. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Friday, October 24th of 2025, at 38 minutes after 11, we've got a temperature of 47 degrees currently in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
You're driving in the fast lane with Frank Sparks on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. You can also stream live on beavercountyradio.com.
We're back here on Driving on the Fast Lane. It is Friday, and it is the second hour, and it's time for DJ Frye's Bus Talk, as he has each and every month on. Usually it's the second Friday, but we're a little bit behind this month. You know, with the weather and you're a busy guy this month. All these festivals and stuff, dude. I got to throw it out to your peeps, and I know they listen, so I got to throw it out to them. That bus that they had at the New Brighton Halloween Parade the other night was just the greatest in the world. We loved the kid in the back in the window, the skeleton going like this, like, let me out of here. We just loved it.
No,
so that was
thank you,
great.
Frank. No, I know my kids really enjoyed that too, but I'll tell you what, I'm just going to parlay that back to Coach Antuono.
Mm-hmm.
The parade was a big deal for my staff. I know they worked really hard. They asked me to increase their budget on the decorations for the parade. My youngest daughter, she was in the parade. But guess where my oldest daughter was? She was with
him doing basketball. I love watching the videos.
Just because it was raining, right?
Coach Steve,
I love watching the videos because I've watched from the beginning, and her ball handling skills are just like outrageous at this point.
It's ridiculous, right? But she works so hard.
Yeah.
She really does, and it shows. And it shows. Like you're not just born to dribble like that, right?
Right, absolutely.
She's so passionate about it. That's Here's the thing. I keep bringing up the word care. She cares, and I care. That's a bad combination for people down the road. I'm going to tell you that.
Well, she's one of many young talents there. You know, we have, you know, the Rasso girl from Central Valley, Ionini girl, you know, from Rochester. They're all really good friends. And Rain, on top of all this, we talked about the leadership, you know, with Jody and Jamie, two Division I athletes of themselves, just really pouring their heart and soul into this facility. It's not only just basketball, lacrosse. You know, we talk about the strength training. My daughter is a little apprehensive about that at first, but it's such a wonderful thing because it's preventative injury training. So again, it's a one-stop shop. It's a whole buffet line of, you know, I know students from the Beaver School District and some of our other school districts, they go there just to work out. They may not have an interest at this point in basketball, but they're still there participating in one of the many different little things that you can do there. But Coach, I know we want to talk about the Stevie's 21 Elwood City team, but Frank brought up social media. I get asked a lot. It's one of the more uncomfortable things, to be honest with you, posting videos of your own daughter, but it helps keep her motivated, her teammates motivated. We're proud of what she's been able to do and her successes. But again, it has very little to do with me as a father or my wife. For that matter, we do put work in at home, but it has 100% about what we do at Rain through Coach Steve, through Miss Jody, and the awesome trainers they have there. Coach, real quick, how powerful is social media nowadays with the athletics?
Well, to be honest, so I created the social media page for work. Okay, so we talk a lot about marketing. So what better way to market Rain with clips and videos about what we do? To me, like, I look at it two ways. I also look at that as a parent, because when that comes up in your social media, whatever they call that, however it works, because this was all new to me. And, you know, you see that and you might say, well, where is that taking place? You know, I've been to this place and I've been to that place and I've been all over looking for a place for my kid. Well, then that might get you a customer, at least to try it. Try it out, see what it's like, see what's going on. And because some people, you know, Rain is still relatively new and it's just catching on, and we're picking up and we're growing. And we work with so many different kids and families from different school districts. So when I do get to see a game, I just sit and root for both teams.
It's amazing with the social media. And again, I'm uncomfortable with it because we like to be, you know, under the radar, stay underneath our roof, you know, remain humble and just very fortunate, right? But again, it keeps her teammates motivated, keeps her motivated, but it also, we're proud of where she works out. And anytime we can shed some light and put that on a big billboard, we certainly do it because we want Rain to continue to be successful, because if it's successful, I like to think my daughter will continue to be successful and continue to grow. Coach, real quick, 2021. I think a lot of our listeners know I'm a huge Nick Saban fan. Coach Saban often talked about the hardest national championship that he won was during COVID because of all of the obstacles off the field, keeping his athletes healthy, keeping them focused on the task at hand. You pulled off something very similar. Talk about that season, Coach.
Well, so what a crazy year with COVID, right? So those of you that may not know, so we were the 11th seed at Elwood City, and we got to do something historic that year that I was very blessed to be a part of, and I got to do it with my own son. So I was very attached to this group. I took the job at Elwood. We were the doormat to the point where my own family, my own brother Frank, who I love and adore, said, "Well, you're going to take that job at Elwood and take your son." So I said, "Yeah, any job that opens typically is not a good job." So I wanted to coach and get back in it. And so as the story goes, during that year, COVID hits and the whole world shuts down. So the most difficult part of that year was we were in a historic run and had a real chance at this thing, but no one ever knew what was going to happen. Obviously, we were an 11th seed. We ran the table, and the rest is history, right? Win the school's first WPL championship that'll never go away, with a very special group of kids. It was not just my son. My son was a big piece of the puzzle, but we had some great kids buy into, once again, I think if those kids were sitting right here, they would tell you that we all cared about each other, and we just cared about winning, and that's pretty much how that story went down. But the COVID difficulties were extremely tough because we're having that run, and you never know. I'm teaching at Union, coaching at Elwood. You never know who's getting sick. If I get the call that everything just stops. And it's like, wait a minute, we're out 2 weeks? How can we be out 2 weeks? Where are we going to practice? There was no practice. So, like any coach at that time, I shouldn't say this, but, kids don't get sick. Don't go out. Don't get sick. Right. If you have a sore throat, you're okay. If your chest is on fire, stay home. Don't tell anyone. We lived it. It was crazy. Right. It was absolute crazy, but obviously it's real. We had to deal with it. And the toughest part was not knowing when it could all be taken away.
Right.
That was tough. And we did get, I believe it was 2 weeks. We were shut down, and, it happened to everyone. But just adjusting through that and trying to make sure things were,
How'd you keep healthy during the playoffs?
So, I remember one time, and the kids could probably talk about this, during a timeout. we all might have had COVID. I mean, everyone was sick, barking. You could just see it, including myself. I used to tell the kids, the only one this could really, really hurt is me. Right. You're going to be okay. But no, we made jokes about it, but thank God we got through it, and we were very blessed to have a great season and a great run, something that those kids will never forget, and I personally will never forget. Going back to Ralph calling in, since I was a kid, everyone talked about the Newcastle 1982 team, and Don Ross was my coach, and Don Ross had that one Whippeal title at Newcastle, and he wore that ring every day. He was my gym teacher. And I see that ring, and man, did Ralph and I want that ring. We wanted that piece of jewelry so bad. And again, honestly, I was chasing that. I was chasing that as a kid. And, to take this back a step, besides I coached at Union. I taught at Union way long time ago. Way back in the day, I coached with Mark Stanley, who is a dear friend of mine and taught me a ton of basketball stuff, and I appreciate Mark as well in this journey that I have. And Mark and I I was Mark's assistant in 2003. I believe we were a 10 seed with the Union Scotties, and we went and won the WPIL championship down at the Palumbo Center, school's first. We beat Clareton in a really tight game. It was almost a buzzer beater. And then we advanced to the state title that year. And lost. But what a special season that was. And then I finally got my ring. But there was a difference, to be honest with you. as an assistant than having your own team and being able to do it. And a really special place to me at Elwood City, because Elwood City, they let me be myself, and that was very important to me. I'll just leave that at that, and I do appreciate Elwood City.
No, I appreciate you sharing that, Coach, because we talk about that often. If you're just tuning in, this is DJ Frye, this month's Beaver County Bus Talk. Steve Antuono in the studio. We're going to go to our last and final break, and on the back end, we want to do some over-the-weekend predictions, and you tell us what's the future, and tell us about the future of Rain 3D and all the good stuff happening there. Please stay tuned. DJ Frye here at Beaver County Bus Talk.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents Disney's Finding Nemo Jr., an underwater musical adventure for the entire family, November 14th through the 23rd. Sponsored by Clearview Federal Credit Union. Get tickets now at lincolnparkarts.org.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
Are you a fan of the historic high school sports history that we have in Beaver County? Beaver County Radio and the Frye Transportation Group are proud to introduce Way Back When. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m., Beaver County Radio will rebroadcast a classic high school game in its entirety. You'll hear the call of famous Beaver County Radio sports broadcasters from the past and present as they take you way back when. Tune in this Sunday, October 26th at 8 p.m. when we go way back to September 10th, 2017. The Rochester Rams traveled to Peters Township to take on the Jeanette Jayhawks in a WPIAL 1A quarterfinal playoff game. Bob Barrickman and Jason Colangelo had the call of this classic that went down to the wire. Way Back When is presented by the Frye Transportation Group and brought to you by East Rochester and Tusca Shop and Save, the East Rochester True Value, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, Beaver Falls Athletic Department, and Beaver County Radio.
Hey, it's Charlie and Debbie, along with NASCAR legend Kyle Petty, inviting you to join us for Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown.
Each week, we'll put it in reverse and take a trip down memory lane, looking back at that week's top 20 country songs from years past.
We'll dive into what made those songs and artists move the needle, what pop culture trends made those years unique.
And you'll get to hear me tell stories only I can tell.
So don't miss Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown right here each week.
Saturdays at noon, brought to you by Falcone's Moon Township Ford, the Latham team at EXP Realty, Canoes Body Works, and Beaver County Radio.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
Tune in to Beaver County Radio after the Friday night football game for the Falcones Moon Township Ford Wrap-Up Show. Beaver County Radio's Mike Azadian and Ryan Garazunas will have the scores, standings, and any news from the games. They will also take your phone call so you can talk about your favorite team. The Falcones Moon Township Ford Wrap-Up Show is being brought to you by Electric Garage Door Sales, Forward RX, Patriot Home Care, the YMCA, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, All Access Automotive, Drug Free Aliquippa, the St. Barnabas Health System, the Frye Transportation Group, the Community College of Beaver County, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Vape and Roll With It, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Carver Construction, Falcones Moon Township Ford, and Beaver County Radio 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and beavercountyradio.com.
Hot coffee in the morning and Frank Sparks. Now you're in the fast lane. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and streaming live on beavercountyradio.com.
All right, we're back here on Beaver County Radio. It is Driving in the Fast Lane. Don't forget to tune in tonight. It is Elwood City visiting Beaver Falls from Reeves Stadium, and that game is for second place in the MAC. And then also don't forget to tune into the Falcones Moon Township Ford Wrap-Up Show afterwards. And then tomorrow, tune in. It's homecoming at Geneva tomorrow. So I'll be broadcasting live from 11:30 a.m. to till about 2 o'clock, and we'll be talking with quite a few different people, from Dr. Calvin Traub the whole way to, in his final year, DJ, Coach Gino DeMarco.
I can't.
Been a friend of
believe
mine
it.
for years.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
He's just another one that I just hold so high up there on that Mount Rushmore, the Beaver County coaches. He's done so much for Beaver County. How many years did you say it was?
It's been quite some time.
Yeah.
I've known. He's a little bit older than I coached his daughters in high school in basketball in New Brighton. Just a great guy all around, great family man, and
Fantastic guy.
He's been there. I don't think we really want to. He doesn't want to tell anybody how many years it's been.
I remember
he'll age himself.
I'll tell a quick story. So naturally, I was recruited to play baseball and football there, and back then it's like you didn't. Yeah, we'll use our visitation day. Get out of school.
Right.
So I went there, and I think on that visit, my mom went with me, and I remember Coach was deadlifting. We were like, you could look down in the weight room there, and I remember Coach Gino deadlifting, and he'd wave up there and say hello and whatnot. But he has been a staple here in Beaver County. Certainly going to be missed. And talk about shoes to fill.
Absolutely.
And Josh Kale played for him as well.
Yep.
So, but Coach, before we say our byes and to our listeners, any shout-outs you have?
Well, I mean, I just want to, I think I mentioned, the vision that Rain has, and the two people that are my bosses, Jody and Jamie. They care. I keep saying that today, but this is about growth and development of kids in this area. To me, it's second to none. The other coaches there, part of our team, care, and they're constantly, the vision is, like any business, how can we be better? And they're constantly trying to do that. So I want to give a big shout out to them. And they know how much I appreciate them, and they give me a platform pretty much every day to do what I do. And, they know I'm very passionate about that. That's why they have put me in position to do that. I just, if the people that go to Rain hear this, like I hope they know, and I say it to the kids every time we huddle up before they leave, I appreciate them. And I appreciate their parents, because this is time, money, and commitment. There's some parents that sit in there 3 hours a night. And that's not easy to do. And,
I'll be the first to tell you.
It's not easy to do, especially when you have a kid that can't drive yet. So I appreciate the whole process of this, and I'm so happy to be a part of it and helping kids and families and making an impact, and that's what this is about.
Well, Coach, I got two more questions for you. In a free-throw shooting contest between Brandon Ambrose and Ralph Blunda, who wins?
In a free throw
contest. Man,
I have to be honest. I haven't seen Brandon shoot, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Ralph.
All right. Last question. CJ Iannini and Chris Brasso, who wins 3-point contest?
In a relay race?
In a relay race. No, in a 3-point contest, who wins?
Man, you know what?
I'm going
Chris
with the
is
youth.
going to kill me.
I'm going to go with the youth.
I'm going to go with CJ.
I'm going with the youth. Sorry, Coach. I know you're listening. Still love you,
Coach,
brother.
I apologize.
But Frank, as always, I appreciate you letting us come in
Absolutely.
and bring wonderful guests
Plus,
like
I gotta
Steve
talk.
Antuono. Yeah. But Coach,
Thank you, guys.
from the deepest part of my heart, thank you for what you do for my family, my daughter, what you do for us as our friendship. But more importantly, you, Jamie, Jody, all of the Rain family. On behalf of Beaver County, thank you for what you do for so many student athletes out there. And I tell you what, Frank, basketball, girls basketball, boys basketball in Beaver County, the future is so bright because of this gentleman right
That's
here
awesome.
and Rain Training Academy out in Rain 3D in Chippewa.
So how can people get more information about Rain if they'd like to?
Well, I mean, we have a website.
Okay.
And, if you're in the area.
So what is that website, Steve?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming it's rain3d.com or rain3dtrainingacademy.com.
There you go.
Come in and check it out. Your first workout is always free. All you have to do is create a profile. Check out the Instagram page. There's a code on there.
Give them the IG account. Coach Steve
Antuono.
What about telephone number? You know that?
I don't. I can give you mine.
It's up to you.
No, we encourage everybody to check out Rain 3D. If your daughter or son, even if it's not super serious about it, jump in and try it out. And I'm gonna tell you, my daughter, all of our, all the youth in Beaver County is a true example of what this place brings and the value behind it.
Real quick, if I have 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of Rain again, the new schedule is coming out because we have a switch with high school sports.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot on the table. There's a lot coming up. If kids have nothing to do in the winter, like even if you're not so serious about it and you want to get started, there'll be something to do for everybody for sure.
Well, Coach, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Guys,
it.
I appreciate you. This is a great experience.
And thank you, Beaver County
Fun
Radio.
stuff.
Thank you for all our listeners. And this wraps up the October series of Beaver County Bus Talk.
See you in November.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
The Pitt Panthers are looking to improve off of last year's 7-6 record, and you can hear all of the action right here on Beaver County Radio. University of Pittsburgh football on Beaver County Radio is brought to you by the East Rochester and Tusca Shop and Saves, the True Value Hardware inside East Rochester Shop and Save, Dr. C. Timothy Lipp, Beaver Falls Athletic Department.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.